So in this video, I'm gonna try to draw the big picture of how just about every system in your body works, to keep your body alive and to keep you going, all right? I'm not gonna talk about every single organ, but I'm gonna try to give you the big picture by just using the airway, lungs, circulation, all that stuff. And then in other videos, I'll cover other stuff, but I'm trying to give you the big picture of how your body stays alive and how it all works together to keep you going, all right? So first things first, let's start with breathing, right? So your intercostal muscles, we'll say this right here, these are your ribs. Right? And then in between your ribs, you have what's called intercostal muscles. And then down here, you would have your diaphragm. So every time these muscles contract, they expand outward, right? So your chest cavity is going to expand outward. And your diaphragm is going to go downward. And that's going to create negative pressure. With that negative pressure, you're going to be able to suck air in. It's going to go down your trachea, through your bronchi, and then your bronchioles, right? Eventually, after your bronchioles, the air that's carrying the O2 is going into the alveoli. So right here, I took an alveoli and I just magnified it. So this is a really, really big alveoli, and we'll say that this right here is supposed to be a bronchiole. So the air is going into the alveoli. So now you have O2 in here, waiting to get picked up by the red blood cells. So the red blood cells, in case you don't know, this right here is a red blood cell. And O2 will latch on to the red blood cell, and the red blood cell will carry the O2 to where it needs to go. That way it keeps your body going. O2 is very vital in the production of ATP. And ATP is stored energy, and really it's life. It's what keeps you going. It keeps you alive. All right, so we got the air into the body, right? So now let's go ahead and get this air, the O2, to the tissues of your body. And that's where your heart comes into play. So, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but this right here represents your superior vena cava, and this represents your inferior vena cava. Remember, veins go to the heart. So they're carrying blood to the heart, to the right atrium to be precise. And it has no O2. It's very poor in O2, but it's high in CO2. And then once it gets to your atrium, it's going to go down to your right ventricle. And then this is the pulmonary artery. It will carry that blood to your lungs, right? All right, so it's carrying the blood to your lungs, both lungs right here. So we're back in the alveoli. That blood is going to travel across the alveoli, over the alveoli, through these vessels called capillaries. So these vessels right here are called capillaries. Capillaries. All right. The capillaries that are traveling over the alveoli are high in CO2, which is a byproduct of creating energy. Okay, and we'll get into that right now. So the CO2 will be dropped off into the alveoli. CO2 is dropped off and by the red blood cells, and then it picks up the O2. And when you breathe out, that CO2 is going to travel through the same pathway that your O2 came in through to be dispersed, be taken out into the atmosphere. All right, so we did that. So the blood came to your lungs from the right side of your heart, right? And now, after the O2 is picked up by the red blood cells, the blood will then travel from your lungs back to the left side of your heart, right here. So we'll say that it came from your alveoli, and now it's going into the left side of your heart. From the left atrium, it's going to go down to your left ventricle, which is right here. And then that blood will be pumped out through your aorta, right here. And it will feed the rest of your body with O2. Obviously, you have more vessels that are going to branch off from the aorta, which go to different parts of your body, different organs. And what's really happening here, why this matters, is because the aorta is carrying blood. And red blood cells carry O2. And that O2 needs to go to the cells of the body to create ATP. So, in a perfect world, we'll say that you eat on a regular basis, and what you eat, the carbohydrates of that gets converted into glucose. Glucose, it's extracted in your small intestines, and it gets created into glucose. Well, let's say it's already stored in your cells, and it's just waiting for the O2 to travel to the cell. So once the O2 meets glucose, with their powers combined, they make ATP. They make a good amount of ATP. And this is life. This is stored energy, and this is what keeps you alive. Now, as far as system-wide, everything has to function in order for this to ultimately happen. This is what matters here. We need to produce ATP continuously. So, if for some reason you have obstruction in the airway, O2 is not going to get in here. Everything else might be functioning at the moment, but if O2 is not coming in, then we're not going to have energy production. Same with your heart. If your heart stops pumping, then O2 might be coming in, but there's nothing to pump that blood to where it needs to go to feed the body with O2. If you have a puncture in your lung, same thing goes there. If you have a vessel that's cut, maybe your airways is bringing in O2. Maybe your heart is pumping, but you have a severe leakage of blood somewhere, and now we're losing red blood cells, so we don't have enough little taxi drivers to take the O2 to meet glucose. And this is just a big picture. What I'm trying to draw here, and hopefully it's coming across okay, is that every single system is interrelated. In order for one system to do its job properly, it depends on another system. It's kind of like business. You have multiple departments, right? So you have let's see, this is a building. I'm gonna break them down to businesses, and into different departments. Here you have people that pay bills, right? You have production, people that produce stuff. You have, let's say, marketing, like you have to advertise for stuff, marketing. Let's say that this is all you have right here, right? So if you don't have people that go advertise, no one's gonna buy what you produce. And if nobody's buying what you produce, you're gonna go bankrupt, right? You're not gonna have a business pretty soon. Same thing goes here. If you have marketing, but you're not producing anything, no one's gonna buy anything. So you're gonna go bankrupt. If you're not paying your bills, eventually you're gonna go bankrupt. They're gonna take your business away, and you can't produce or market. It's just kind of like a company or any kind of firm you work for. Every single little department within your body has to work in order for the other department or system to function. So this goes down to every single level. It goes from system to organ to cells. I hope I got the message across with this. If I'm missing anything, if you want me to explain anything else, just leave a message below. And take care, guys. Bye.